Hello, my friend. I am Charlie Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk, talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. Also, talking to the people everyone tells me I'm not supposed to talk to, but I do anyway. Today is not one of those people, not particularly controversial, but necessary, vitally necessary. What are we talking about today?
All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. Old Dan and I with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water, cool, clear water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? The nights are cool and I'm a fool, each star's a pool of water, cool water. Run with the Donna, wait till the yawn and carry on to water, cool, clear water.
Yep, that's it. Nelson McIlveen is on Do Not Talk. Let's get talking about water, what's in it, and what he wants to take out. Ready? Hit it. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the big old bad old broadcast. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm borderline amazing. I have some cool, clear water, crystal geyser, direct from the stream, right? They bottled at the source. That's what they say. Of course, it's in a plastic bottle full of BPA, but at least I got some.
No.
There's a lot of places in the world they don't have it. And here in the United States of America, you might have it. We've gotten so used to just turn on the tap and it's always there. But there's places where you have gone in and helped rescue countless families by helping them clean up their water because they've been flooded out. It happened in Texas, happened in North Carolina. Those are just two of the places that you've gone to help clean up their water supply. You're with Century H2O, right?
Yes. The biggest place we went into was East Palestine, Ohio. They dumped
train wreck.
Yeah, that got dumped with vinyl chloride. And we're the only people in the world that can remove vinyl chloride to zero. The EPA can't do it. The feds can't do it. And when we did do it, talking about controversial, they were pissed. Because we made them do the testing. And when they did the chain of custody, they did the testing. They were not happy. We got phone calls.
Who's they? And why would they not be happy that their people are getting clean water?
It was the EPA that called us, and the IRS started talking to us very seriously about things. And they were not very comfortable with the fact that we took the vinyl chloride in the water and took it out.
Why would they not be happy about that?
Well, vinyl chloride destroys your immune system. It takes your nerves, your whole nervous system gets broken down because that's mustard gas. So back in World War I, they basically outlawed it. Remember their, mustard gas back in World War I? That was something they outlawed. But vinyl chloride, if I run vinyl chloride, I have an injection molding company, and we run PVC plastic components for ladders and things of that nature. If I run those machines 5 degrees out of temperature, I can kill everybody in the building within minutes. So when
Why would the federal government not be happy about you being able to take that out of the people's drinking water?
Well, there's a reason for them dumping that vinyl chloride in their wells.
And what is it?
We all have to make an assumption, do we not? But those trains stopped right over the 3 city wells. Okay. I don't know about you, but you're driving a train down the road. They're not run by conductors anymore. They're run by computers. and they have sensors all over those trains, and those trains were on fire, and they kept running. And then they stopped right at the wrong place. Of all the places in the world to stop those trains, you do not stop them over the wells. That's where the well water was coming for those cities, right? What they're looking at, once they did what they did, when you ignite, you cannot burn vinyl chloride. It doesn't burn. But if you throw gasoline on it, an additive on it, you can burn it that way, and it becomes a toxin that's in the air now. And where would those toxins go?
That's what happened. There was a huge fire too.
That's when I seen there was a problem. When I seen that, I knew something was wrong. Because I mold it. I know it. I know what happens. It gives off it does not give off a burn. It gives off a gas that you can't see. Okay? That stuff is so toxic that it'll eat the steel on my molding machines if we don't plate them with a certain kind of plating. It's not a one and done thing, man. So when that happened, we made a decision to go in and fix the problem. So I called my chemist, Deepak Chopra. You've heard that name, right? Called my chemist, Deepak. He had a carbon they developed because they felt there's going to be a problem with vinyl chloride in America. So we went in with this new carbon, dropped it in systems, went in there 2 weeks after it happened. We went in the same day President Trump went in, and we had to have special papers that were given to us by the federal government to move around in the city. So we did that.
It happened under Biden. And the thing that everybody was screaming about, at least on the right, the media was ignoring, was the fact that the president and the Biden administration was not going in and rescuing these people of Palestine, Ohio, which is a conservative area, by the way. And they were just leaving them to suffer through this. And it was horrific. And it was on such a grand scale that certainly the city and the county didn't have the money to take care of it. The train, whoever owned the railroad and the train was not stepping up and doing any kind of cleanup. It was insane what was happening. And we were all just looking at it going, how come nobody's doing anything?
We did. I gave away a system to every home in East Palestine that wanted one. Okay, so I spent about $300,000 back then on that to take care of that situation. We went in actually October 28th of last year. We went in and finished the job. Okay, gave them away. Everybody wanted one. It was at their disposal to put it in. It takes about 30 minutes to install the system. No holes being drilled, and that would give you clean water. They had flames coming out of their water at their spigot. In your faucet, flames are shooting out of the water. That's how toxic it was. We went to ground zero. We have data on all this stuff. We tested all the water, knew how much vinyl chloride was in the water, and then we tested the water after we put our system in. And I had the EPA do chain of custody, so I never seen the water, touched the water, knew anything about the water. And we went to the VFW where we put a system in. They took water from one sink that wasn't filtered by our system and one that was. And the one that wasn't filtered was at 5.22 parts per million.
Hello,
and they said that was acceptable. Okay.
You said that was acceptable. Interesting.
Yes. So that's what we did.
Is that one of those emergency alerts, by the way, that's happening right now on your phone?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Yes. So yeah, how you shut it off, right? So we did. So what we did was when we went in, they took chain of custody of our product. I've called 42 laboratories before I got one that would actually take care of it for me. And when they found out what they had done, and we were at zero on the amount of vinyl chloride in the water, we got phone calls. They didn't want us putting that data up there saying they're at 5.22 parts per million. And we did multiple tests, so it wasn't just one test. So
who are you getting calls from, federal or local?
What's that? Calls from, we got calls from the EPA directly.
The Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah.
See, we don't want people knowing that these people are being destroyed by their own water.
Well, they were telling everybody that 5 parts per million was acceptable. Well, you're saying you weren't even at 5 parts per million. Okay. and it's not acceptable. So the folks are going through, like anything that happens, it doesn't happen immediately for most people, but within time, they're getting all kinds of cancers and such. So that's where we're at. So that's what we did. We gave them a product that removed the vinyl chloride, as well as removed fluoride, as well as remove pharmaceutical VOCs, as well as remove chlorine and ammonia in the water, and all arsenic and all that. And then we took the water. Our water goes in and gives you magnesium and calcium at a level that you don't need a synthetic pill anymore. And our water gives you pH of 9+, which destroys cancer. We've been told that, right? Alkaline water and cancer can't live in the same place. Our water gives you serious oxygen. We've had people do blood tests after they drink our water, and there's oxygen in their blood. The doctors can't figure this one out. Our water actually hydrates the water, and it's all coming from your tap. So now a gallon of pH water, alkaline water, that you pay big money for in the store, that only lasts 7 days, by the way. So 7 days from the moment they put it in to it gets to you, if it's 7 days it took to get to you across country, it ain't alkaline anymore. And they do that with electricity. Let me ask you a question. Electricity and water is not good for the human body. It's not what you want. Ours is natural. It comes from minerals. Minerals is what you want. That's how you get alkaline water. Okay. So what we do is a product that is very natural, very reasonable to purchase, very easy to put in, and you become very healthy.
And you can do a whole house system too, because you have to consider what you're putting on your skin. Your skin absorbs all kinds of things from the water, doesn't it?
Extremely major. Okay, so we have several layers of this. Okay, and we start out with if you want to make your house healthy, our house system. You put it in and you don't touch it ever again. Okay, it takes out 100% of fluoride. It manages. What we do is we manage scale. We don't put slime on it with salt. We manage it. So we put an oxygen.
I hate that feeling. Also, my uncle had one of those water softening systems, and you never feel like the soap is completely off of you. You just feel slimy is a good way to put it. Well, all that salt goes into the water, goes back into the groundwater, and it gets filtered down into the aquifers and all that.
Now you got slurry water, okay? And in California, they're outlawing this, okay? So you don't want to kill water with an RO system, reverse osmosis. You want to manage water, okay? Why do you want to drink dead water? That bottle of water you had, let me share with you how that works. I've been in the water business. I used to build reverse osmosis. I used to build the caps on all water bottles, and I used to make the water bottles for the companies I work for. Let me share with you how this process works. They make the bottle out of a material called PET, cheapest plastic known to man. We make our housings out of plastic, but it's made out of polypropylene that puts a skin over it so you can't pull any poisons out of it. It's all been tested. So it doesn't have BPA in it. It's clean plastic, okay? What you have is a BPA product that nanoplastic falls out of it. How does that work? So everybody says, well, how does all this work? It's got cold, water. It shouldn't fall out. So you buy your water from a great spring water. Everybody loves spring water. So they pull this water out of the ground. The government has mandated that you cannot put water in any bottle unless it goes through a reverse osmosis system. It pulls everything good and everything bad out of the water. You got dead water. Now it gets even better yet. So then they got this in a bottle, and they had to put poison in that water to keep mold and fungus from growing in the water.
Oh, gee whiz.
Didn't think of that, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay. That's it. So then they put it all on a skid. They put it in a box. They put it in a semi. What's a semi? An incubator. You got this box of steel going down the road, and if it's 90 degrees outside, it's 190 inside.
Yeah, and they say do not put this bottled water anywhere in the sun. So you're not even supposed to keep it in your vehicle because it leaches out of the plastic, whatever's in it, into the water.
Well, at 180 degrees, plastic delaminates. This plastic starts leaving nanoplastic into the water. Any PET plastic does that, okay? So now you got bits of plastic in your water. So what are you drinking? You're drinking a product that is basically killing you. Sorry about that, folks.
I remember my grandfather used to always insist on bottled water, but that was when it was delivered in a glass, great big giant whatever,
Right.
super heavy, but it was
And-
always in glass, not in plastic like it is now.
And it wasn't
Does
our
that
road.
make a huge difference?
Yes, and it wasn't our road. Okay?
What's our road?
Reverse osmosis.
Okay.
Wasn't that. So here's where you're at, guys. Everything they've been telling you about how you drink water, how you manage water, how you use water has been a lie. A big, fat lie. And you guys are basically thinking you're doing yourself a good favor by drinking a lot of water. You're not. So I'm going to share with you a better way to do life. And it's really simple. And when I tell you what I'm going to tell you, you're going to be saying this guy is either full of nonsense or he's got the Holy Grail. So let's start out with your house. You got a house and you want your house to be clean. You want your house to work properly. So where do you start? Well, you got a hot water tank that dies every X amount of years because of scale. Wouldn't it be nice if you never had scale in that hot water tank? Well, let's talk about your washing machine. How about the mold and fungus that builds up in your washing machine because of soap?
Gotta run vinegar through it.
How'd you like it to be clean? Then you got this thing called a dishwasher, and you have to go buy another product called jet packs to take the water spots off. How'd you like your washing machine? Your dishes come out clean with no water spots on them. And then your shower. So you go take a shower, and you think you're getting yourself clean. But what you're doing is all the toxins in the water, arsenic, chromium-6, boron, fluoride, all that goes through your skin into your body. You take in a pint of water. If you're like any of us that like to stand in the water in a hot shower for a moment, you're consuming water up to a pint. That's direct poison. So when the doc says to you, your salt intake's a little bit high, well, that's not because you're putting salt on your food. It's because you're taking a shower in it. You put salt in a box, it goes in your body. And in the Southwest, if you don't have a softener, your house basically shuts down. Our product is a tank. You put it on, it cleans itself every so many days. It's good for 10 years. You'll come back to it and say, I want to regenerate my carbon, and we give you a product, and you do that. What that does is we clean out your hot water tank of all scale with oxygen. We take out clean out your dishwasher with no scale, because the scale passes through. You don't get rid of scale. You break it into a powder so it doesn't become a problem. And we do this with companies like Kohler Industries. I do this with companies like Sun Stadium. I do this with companies like Hershey's Kraft Cheese. Uses our product because they can't have scale in their water lines, shutting down their machinery. That's how we do it. Now you're managing scale. You're not getting rid of scale. You're not pulling salt around it. You're actually managing it. So when you manage scale, that scale is what? Magnesium and calcium. You want the magnesium and calcium in your body, right? So what happens is we put heavy oxygen. So we have a process called CT resin. And when the scale goes past it, it's negative and positive ions, creates an oxygen bubble. And I mean, when you see a glass of our water, it's gray. And they let it sit, it goes crystal clear. That's the oxygen settling down in the water. That's how crazy it is, right? So when you put oxygen into your gut, what happens? Men's prostates shrink. Don't get up and go to the bathroom anymore at night. If you have anything that's poisoning your body, that's hurting you, oxygen and that can't live in the same place. Heavy oxygen. Women, the lines in their face start diminishing because why? They're not a prune anymore. They're hydrated. Magnesium and calcium, you don't have cramps in your legs anymore, your hands anymore. All that goes away. So you need magnesium in your body for your body to be happy, right? So without magnesium, and if you take a synthetic pill, 20% goes into your system, 80% it doesn't take in. So this, you take everything in. These are the things it'll do for you. Now, let's talk about the fluoride, okay? We're all being told how bad fluoride. Well, we knew this 20 years ago, but nobody wanted to listen. But here's your
No,
problem.
I wasn't one of them. I was like, oh, it's good for our teeth. That's why we in the United States of America have good, healthy teeth and don't have the problems like they do in England and so on because we put fluoride in our water. So I used to like think, well, how bad can it be? I was one of those guys.
Okay. So the fluoride in your toothpaste is pharmaceutical fluoride. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. The fluoride they dump into your water is stuff they scrape off the ground. It's direct poison. Back in the 1800s, the old timers got smart and they said, hey, water comes out of the ground, fluoride comes out of the ground, you can't get rid of it. So we still can't get rid of it, right? They take it all out, they're not putting extra in. You still can't get rid of it. Here's what you do. What they did back in the day was they took animal bones called bone char, and when the water passes over to animal bones, the fluoride sticks to the bones at 100%, sticks to the bones. So we bring in animal bone char from Scotland, and it's in the system. So you drink the water, goes through your home. There's zero fluoride in that water, zero, not a little bit. It's all out. It's all gone. Simple. Basic, right? And then the system back flushes, cleans all that fluoride out, and everything takes it out, goes down the drain, and you move on. So that's what it'll do for your house. All your pipes will be clean. Your faucets won't have any white stuff on them. It all goes away. And you don't have to scrub it. You don't have to do anything. You put the system in. That system goes for about $47.50. But it's the last time you'll buy anything ever again. And then you have the under the sink system. So let's say you're in an apartment. Let's say you're leasing a home. You're not in a position to spend that kind of money. This system will take 30 minutes to put in. You don't drill any holes, and it's $350. You put it in, and that's going to give you water that has all the impurities taken out of it. Okay, so let's say we take out vinyl chloride. If you have white pipes in your house, and we all have white pipes now because
plastic instead of, they used to use what, copper? It's all plastic now.
There's a reason. If you're running an RO system, that's acid water. Acid water will eat holes in copper pipes. So now they got plastic ones. Okay?
Interesting.
Very interesting, right? So if you have that, there's a possibility you're getting vinyl chloride in your water. Okay? You don't want to drink it. What about pharmaceuticals?
That was going to be my question too, because the Lord created a beautiful way of filtering water through the earth down into the aquifers and the underground lakes that we tap into. But our water is so full of so much junk now, including even birth control. Birth control is leaching down there into the groundwater, and we're sucking it back up when we're drinking it. A lot of this refiltration, government places where they take solid waste and liquid waste, and they just let it filter out, and then they turn around. Yeah. Okay, and they call it potable water. It's potable.
Basically, you're drinking waste. Okay. So here's the problem we have in America and around the world, and this has been something that we can't stop now. 90% of all pharmaceuticals come to America. Okay. But we can't stop it anymore. So what happens is when you put in your body, when you go to the bathroom, I get to drink it. You can't stop that, guys. There's no way of getting around it. It's a train that left the station. Everybody's on pills. Everybody's on something.
Antidepressants, huge. Antidepressants. All this is going into our water through people's waste.
Well, it's even worse than that. We've gone away from Planned Parenthood. Now we've gone to a pill, and that pill means that product goes down the toilet, and that product goes in your drinking water. Yeah. Okay. And what we come up with is a product that removes all that. And I'm going to share with you how we do it. We got a call several years ago from some elite individuals in Europe that said, we have a problem. They have their own fish farms. And because Europe is pretty much vaccinated, that vaccine was going into their water, into the drinking water.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was going into their fish farms, and they were finding that their fish was showing up with the vaccine in it. These people are not vaccinated, by the way. They create the vaccine, but they're not vaccinated. So we generate a carbon that removes all pharmaceutical VOCs, and that's a big umbrella. And what I mean by that is we remove all the vaccines out of the water. We remove all PFOs, all the plastic out of the water, and we remove all the PFAs out of the water. And there's not 20 of them. There's 220 of them. And here's how we do it. So remember these numbers, because what you've been told in life, throw it in an RO and everybody's happy, it's been a lie. The way you properly clean water is with density of carbon and time. Okay, you have to have both of those elements to be able to remove any poisons in your water. So what we do is normal carbon is at 600 to 900 grains of density. That's the carbon that's in your refrigerator filter. And what that will do for you is make the water smell good and taste sweet, but doesn't stop anything. And that's all it's for. So we as people say the water's clean looking, it smells good, and it tastes good. I like it. I'm good. Lie. That's why you drink bottled water, because that's what they're giving you.
Which is absolutely polluting landfill everywhere.
Actually, it's not.
That and those coffee pods, the bottled water.
Trust me, that's another tale they told you. It's not. Plastic is biodegradable. And what happened, we were told, and I'm in the plastic business, they put talcum powder in plastic 40 years ago so that when it goes into the ground over a period of time, it'll degrade and go apart. So they're telling you a bunch of, they want you to believe that, but it's not 100% true. Okay. What it does though, in the moment pollutes the ground, but in time it falls apart and becomes part of the ground. Okay. It's oil. Oil goes back to the ground. It came from the ground. So it's a cycle. Okay. But that's not what you want to be doing. What you want to be doing is stainless steel tumbler. And I'm going to tell you an awesome product coming out in the first part of next year. You're going to go nuts over this one. So that's coming. So, but I'm telling you this. So what you want to be doing is when you drink water that's clean, and what I was getting back to is these pharmaceuticals are in the ground. So we came up with a carbon that is, I told you 900 grains, 600 grains of density. We use a carbon called catalytic carbon, which is 10 times more expensive than normal carbon. And that takes out ammonia out of the water. Regular carbon does not pull ammonia out. You've heard of the word chloramines? Chlorine and ammonia. 45% of the country is using it. Ammonia is dirt cheap. So they use it in the water now. So you're drinking water that has ammonia in it. Not a good thing, guys. Not, you want to get older and die sooner, that's what you drink. But here's what we have. We have a carbon that is built at 2,800 grains of density, not 400, catalytic carbon, and we infuse magnesium into it, and we pull out all pharmaceuticals. Not some, all. That's how tight it is, okay? You won't find another carbon like that in the world. They paid us a lot of money to create this carbon. Okay. So that's what we put in our product. So that's what you're getting. You're getting no fluoride, bone sharp. You get magnesium and calcium, scale. You're getting heavy oxygen. Okay. You're getting, and you get alkaline water for $350. Let me tell you this part. So remember I told you about alkaline water being 7 days? It's dead. Once you do what goes through our system, I got water that's 4 years old, alkaline of 9. Doesn't go away because made from minerals. Minerals don't die. They're always there. So that's what we're doing in the water industry, okay? So that's what we're doing with your house. Oh, we have a shower filter. So let's say you live in an apartment. Buy the 2-pack. You buy the under the sink, which you can take when you leave. You don't drill any holes in anything. You just hook it up to the cold side of your faucet. And then there's a shower filter. So now when you're taking a shower, you're showering in poison water with oxygen in it. That's what you're showering in. And I've seen people's skin change, psoriasis of the skin go away, all kinds of stuff like that after using this water because you're taking chlorine and ammonia and the poison's out. Just take out chlorine out of the water, and your wife will be saying, "Why is my hair soft? And why is my skin soft?" That's why they love it. Okay, so that's for people that can't use the whole house system, and that's $110 and $350. So for $460, and by the way, if you use your code, they get 10% off. So they get 10% off of anything they use if you use your code. Okay. So that's one of the things that we do on that end. Now, what's coming, you know how everybody drinks out of a Stanley cup and all these different stainless steel flasks? We're coming out with a filter that you can drink, and it'll alkaline the water. It'll take every poison out of the water, all PFAs, all chlorine, all ammonia, every toxin will be taken out of the water. Oh, and by the way, you can drink water that has not, you can drink lake water. It takes out parasites and bacteria out of the water. And it also, you can drink mud water. You can put mud in the cup and drink it. It comes out crystal clear. And it tastes awesome. And I'm not joking. This is the latest technology. This is the same filter that's on the space station. That's what's going to be in the cups going forward. So if you have one of our cups, a plastic cup you buy from us, you can go to any water source known to man, any water, like Mexico. So when you go down to Mexico, you know how they tell you don't drink the water? Not a problem. You can drink the water with our cups. We take out every parasite, every bacteria out of the water, and that's coming the first of the year. It's a paper.
That's exciting, because that was my next question was, what about somebody saying, well, I don't do bottled water because it's a landfill and all that kind of stuff, so I use a Brita filter, so I'm good.
Well, what's a Brita filter? It's a chunk of carbon. If that's okay for you, drink it. It's not okay for me because it ain't doing anything, right?
So what you come up with is something similar, though.
It's above and beyond. Okay, so this is not even in the ballpark of Brita. So you'll take your Stanley cup, or you'll take one of our plastic cups, go to the faucet, fill it up with water, and when you drink through the straw, what comes through that straw is alkaline water. Okay, alkaline of 9+, no PFAs at all, gone 100%. Any bacteria or parasites that are in that water, gone. It has no poisons in the water at all. Okay, that's what we come up with. This is light years away from anything else on the market. So if you have this cup and you're in Mexico or you're in a foreign country, you can drink the water safely. You can take this cup, and I have a video that I'd be more than happy to send you, that you can take this cup and dump dirt into it, fill it with water, and drink it. It comes out crystal clear, and it tastes amazing. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about if you're camping, if you're out in the woods, and you have no water source, you can walk up to a lake, a stream. You can't drink water from a lake or a stream because there's parasites and bacteria in that lake, right? This takes them out at 100%. That's what I'm talking about. So back in the day, we used ceramic to get parasites out of the water because the water would go through the ceramic, but the parasites couldn't go through the ceramic. This water here moves water at 450 gallons a minute and does the exact same thing.
That is huge.
It's amazing. This is over the top technology.
Yeah, ceramic, it takes a long time to filter through.
Oh, it takes a whole night. Okay, so
it's not filtering out. It's only filtering out parasites, but not all the other stuff we've talked about that's in our water now.
We got and we got everything, and this product has all been certified. So you could go to Africa, drink the water. You could go to Europe, drink the water, and you won't have any issues. Nobody can do that. That's how big this is. And we're coming out with so here for the soccer moms, you want to have pH water. You want to have oxygen in your water. You want to have those things, right? So this straw in your Stanley, now you got water that is so clean. It's crazy. Your body will literally crave the water. So here, let me go back to the very beginning, why I started this business, okay? I use oxygen in factories. My molding company runs on this water because I can't have scale, plug up my heat exchangers, so my molding machines will shut down, okay? Hershey's uses it. So we knew what we were doing in this world. And we only use the best products. I mean, if I told you the cost of this stuff per liter, you'd go nuts. It's outrageous. It comes from Germany. So about 8 years ago, I went to the doctor. I'm a guy that doesn't do any medicine. I don't do pills. I don't do anything. I don't even do vitamins 'cause I'm too lazy. I do sugar. I'm a sugar guy. Okay. And I went to my doc. He says, your PSA levels are climbing. What does that mean, right? He says, well, let's keep an eye on it. So that was in January, or that was in June. October, we did another blood test. He says, you're at 4 now. You went from 1.6 to 4. Better get a CAT scan done. So I went and did that. Come back. He goes, you got a growth. Okay. So he goes, you better go to a specialist. Everybody has to go to specialists now. So I go to a specialist in January, the following year. And the guy looks at me and says, I think we need to take it out. I said, well, what does that look like? I mean, I don't know this world. He says, you become a eunuch. And because they take everything out. It's gone, right? And then I'm saying, okay, well, no. I look at my wife. I said, we've been together. We've been married for 44 years. I said, let's just go home. I'm going to build a system out of this water. If I can take that oxygen and get it into my gut, they do say that oxygen and cancer can't live in the same place. They say that, not me. So I went home. I built the first water system. Didn't know about the alkalinity. I didn't know about any of the other things. All I knew is I wanted oxygen in my gut. That was all I cared about, right? So we bought a new home that month, and while the house was being renovated, painted and all that, we moved in. We built the system in February. We moved in March 1st. I had another blood draw in May 15th. And the doctor looked at me and said, what did you do? My PSA levels went back down to 1.7. The growth was gone. And it's been like that now for 8 years. I can tell you story after story after story of people with skin cancer, people with breast cancer, people with brain tumors, people with metastasized cancer, cysts on their liver, enjoying this water, and their lives changed. What does that mean? Water does matter. You're 70% water. If you're putting, maybe the magnesium's good, maybe the oxygen's good, maybe the pH is good, maybe all that stuff is good, but I think what's even better, clean water. Where can you get clean water in this world? Tell me one place. I don't know of any place.
I don't either, unless it's directly out of a hot spring.
It's not clean though.
Yeah,
Why you think that's clean?
It's filtered down into the aquifers, yes.
No, what we're finding now is this. Majority of the wells in this country have uranium in it. We're taking that out of the water now. And we can do that with carbon. Nitrites. If that spring water is close to a ranch or a farm, it's poisoned.
Yeah.
So you're not giving, that water's not even clean. Spring water comes from where? Somewhere underground. And that hooks in with somewhere else underground, which hooks into somewhere else underground. So there's nowhere on this planet that we have clean water anymore. That days have come and gone. Okay. We've systematically poisoned the earth. And pharma has helped. You can't take and put stuff down the toilet. You can't take and put stuff in the ground. Unless you put it in a cement coffin, you can't do that. Once you do that, you've contaminated the ground. When you go and have farmers put nitrites in the ground, that ends up in your drinking water. And then you end up with blue babies and things of this nature. The hardest thing to take, it's easier to take uranium out of the ground than nitrites. Nitrites is the hardest thing for us to take out of the ground. That's how big of a deal it is. So we have, in my mind, this is the only product that we know of. There's others close to what we're doing, but this is the only product that I know of does what we claim we're doing. And we've gone, and we don't use NSF. We don't use the water testing organizations because they'll do whatever you pay them to do. We use EPA. They hate me. That's why we use them. And when they have to give me a certificate saying I'm doing what I'm doing is right, we know we won. And that's why we do what we do.
Congratulations.
So we we dance in a world that's funny, and the more I understand what we're doing, the more it's sad that we have to do this, you know. But the water that you'll get from our product is the same water you got when you were a kid drinking from the hose. That's how big of a deal it is. And this water will make you crave it. Your body will crave this water. And I mean, okay, so let's talk about animals. Everybody has a dog or a cat. And what we've been told is they live a very
There's
short.
five right there.
But there you go. See that little guy? My wife has a dog rescue.
Oh, that's cool. Right on. This guy's a little rescue too.
And we just brought a dog in from Australia, a greyhound. Okay, we brought 6 of them in from Australia.
Wonderful dogs. Wonderful.
We race them, and then we bring them in. But we have huskies, we have pit bulls, we have little dogs, we have Doberman pinchers, whatever is on the E list that she feels needs to be pulled or she can get her hands on. That's what she does. And we've been doing this. She's been that we. I shouldn't. I'm not taking any credit, okay? Because I have my one husky, and I'm good. She's been doing this for 20 years. So it's not a fly-by-night, not a one-off. Our dogs all live in my water. My dog's average age is 17 years old. Okay? I'm not joking. We had one dog just pass, and these are big dogs, not little ones, big ones. We have Jack Russells that are well over 17. We've had dogs 20-some years old, little ones. One just passed away recently. She was a big dog at 17.
Wow.
Okay, 17. And we see this all the time. I have an 11-year-old husky right now, and our huskies would pass away around 11, maybe 12 on a good day. This dog thinks she's a puppy still. She dances for the water, literally every night, not once in a while. And then she does flips. So 11-year-old dog doing that is amazing, just amazing in our mind. We brought in the greyhound, and the dog traveled by air, got here. My wife picked it up, and generally, when we bring dogs in from other countries, you put food down, they're eating because they haven't eaten in a while, they're hungry, so forth. The dog, because they can smell things, they know what's in the water or what's not in the water. They can smell those items. And in the past, my wife will put down 1 bowl of water a day, and the dogs would take all day to drink that 1 bowl of water. We are up to 3 to 4 bowls a day with every dog. They don't go to the washroom any more often, and neither will you when you drink our water. That's why you can sleep all night without getting up and going to the bathroom. Your body consumes the water. The water goes into your bowels. It doesn't go into your stomach, and it gets passed through. The dogs do the same thing. So this greyhound came in. My wife, it was late, about 10 o'clock. My wife put down a bowl of food. And by the way, the food that our dogs eat is the best of the best. So it's not kibbles. She puts down a bowl of food. She puts down a bowl of water. The dog smells the food, smells the water, takes a drink of the water, literally jumped a foot in the air and a foot back, and then dove into the water, shook its head and dove into the water and drank until it was gone. Then it ate its food. So we see things like that. Now, here's another animal story. So we have friends that are in the horse world. And they were out at Westworld here. They have the #1 jumper in the country. They carry their own water with them because that's the only water that horse will drink. Horses smell the water. So if you are out in the middle of nowhere and you want to drink a puddle of water, you let the horse smell it. If the horse won't drink it, you don't drink it.
You don't drink it, exactly.
Okay? So this horse had its own bucket, its own water. And my friend said, she won't drink your water. She won't even touch it. Well, let's just have fun, try it. So I have a portable system that hooks on campers. You can carry it with you. You can hook on a camper, hose in, hose out, hang it from a tree kind of a thing. It's a prepper unit. It has a special filter in it that you can drink water from any source in the world, this paper element. So it has these 2 elements. and we have the horse model. So we bring the horse model out. We're kind of testing it. So we fill up her bucket with her water and set it down. We fill up another bucket with my water and set it down. She smelled her water, smelled our water, and drank 2.5 gallons of our water. She knows they know what they know, right? So when you put clean water in front of an animal and they drink it, it's darn well okay for you to drink. And that's one of the horse ends of it. So if you want your animals possibly to live longer, have a healthier life, our water's it.
I think we covered it pretty extensively, but I live in a rural area. I actually live on a ranch, horse and cattle ranch. And I hear this a lot from the people I'm with and around and our neighbors that, well, we have well water, so it's safe. I think we covered that. It's not really safe anymore. Well water isn't even.
Okay. We have a well product. And most water filtration, and we're not water filtration, by the way, we're water wellness. Most water filtration companies stay away from wells. They cannot filter well water. That's how bad it is. And it's constantly changing. So we found that 90% of the wells out there are running uranium through them. So you should have your wells tested. And you're going to find out once you test it, your ranch, how far are you from farmers?
This is a ranching area, so no farmers, or at least not where I live.
Okay. Generally, what you're going to find in your wells will be nitrites, uranium, all the poison, fluoride, heavy fluoride in the water. So best case scenario for you, you're running fluoride in that water because it comes from the ground. Water comes from the ground. It's a given. So you're still generating heavy fluoride in your drinking water. So what we do when it comes to wells, and we're one of the few companies that will touch wells, is this. We send you a water test, right? You do the water test. I don't touch it. I don't send it. My lab sends it to you. It's an EPA certified lab. It comes to you. You fill up the container. You send it back. We don't have nothing to do with it. And then the report goes to you and goes to us. And then you and I sit down and we have a conversation with what we see and what we recommend. And then we build that system to your well. Okay. So if you're running serious nitrites, we lean on that kind of a carbon. If you're running uranium, we lean on that. If you're running fluoride, we lean on that. And we know how to activate carbon. And I'm going to share another thing with you, which is kind of interesting that most people don't even know and talk about. So we have several chemists that work for us. And we have a laboratory in Seattle that we go in and we do, that's how we do our testing, come up with new products, come up with products that are going to be innovative. And what we found is in the world of wells, that we've learned that we can come in and we can fine tune the systems that will make your well water come out clean. And the sad thing about it is everybody has said that, oh, I got well water, it's the best. Well, I live in Mesa, Arizona. No farms. They've taken them all away. They're, we don't do cotton here anymore. The closest farms to us are probably 75 miles away. Okay. A lady friend of mine, she went to our Sunday school class. She comes up and he says, and we're talking about a home that's $10 million. Nothing cheap about her house. And she has a well. She's out in the desert, middle of nowhere, nothing around her. She says, I'd like to get a system for my home. I said, okay, let's do a test. Did a test. She had heavy uranium in the water. She had heavy fluoride in the water. Where did fluoride that heavy come from? Right? I mean, what is some guy dumping a bag of fluoride in the aquifer somewhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she had severe nitrites in the water and all this stuff. And she was wondering why she wasn't feeling well lately. So we went in and we cleaned all of that up. We went in and we touched on all of that for her. But here's what we figured out, guys. All the poisons in the water, they're held in the water. They're in the middle of the water. They're not on the outside looking in. How do you get rid of poisons? Chemicals? Add another poison to get rid of a poison?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Well, we
Yeah.
got to get parasites out. So let's use chlorine. All right. I'm like, why are we using chlorine? You know what I'm saying? But here's what we figured out. The pH in the water controls the water. So what we learned is if we can change the pH, we can drop the poisons out of the water. So what we do is we go in and we drop. So if you go and do a pH test on your water in your faucet, it's at 7.6. There's a reason for that. 7.6 holds all the poisons in the water perfectly. You go in with a pH of 8.5 to 9.5. Now you have alkaline water that will cure things. Alkaline water destroys acid in your body, which creates sickness. If you can drop the water down to 6.5, all the poisons fall out of the water. And then you raise it back up again. And we have the technology to raise it back up again without using electricity. We have a media that comes from Siberia that takes the water to any pH we want. We just got to put the right amount in. And that's what we do. So when you're looking at down the road, when we see these cups and straws available, they have that media in the middle of them. They have the paper on the outside, takes out all the bad stuff. And then in the middle of that has this media, and that will bring the pH to a 9 plus. And that's what we do. So we do everything naturally. Our water is the water that God put on this planet 7,000 years ago for you. That's what our water does. It's a water that makes your body healthy. See, here's how smart God was. We have to have magnesium and calcium in our diet, or our body gets angry, very angry, right? So what God did was he put minerals in the ground, in the water, and then you drink the water because you have to have water at least every 3 days or you die. So you're consuming this product on a regular basis. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can consume 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of water a day easily. And this water that when you drink it, I don't know about yourself, but when I drink bottled water, I get halfway through a bottle and I can't drink any more of it. I'm full. Why is that? This water, I can drink. I've been known to drink 4 8-ounce glasses, one right after another, and never get full. That's how, when you're drinking clean water, your body consumes clean water. It doesn't pass it through your body. Okay. So the water you're drinking in a bottle is liquid, not water. It's just liquid, clear liquid. When you get done running through an RO system, all you have is a bunch of a product that has no value, right? And then you wonder why we're all not feeling well. Because your body is dehydrated, you know? And if you dehydrate a person, they're sick. You can't live without being hydrated. So the water that I'm telling you about is hydrated water. And that's what matters, you know? So I'm going to tell you this, if you guys are interested, go to the website and use Charlie, what's the name of your program is?
Do Not Talk.
You use Do Not Talk and you'll get a 10% discount and go from there. And that's what we do. That's what the product will do. And that's what the product can do for you. And it's a very simple product.
What is the website?
Sentry with an S, SENTRYH2O.com. And that will change your world. I can guarantee it. People, we've only had out of all the time that we sold this product, we've only had 2 ladies return the product for lack of, they didn't like the taste. And what it was they were on heavy chemo. And when you drink living water, and we can kind of call this living water, you will taste the metal they're putting in your body. When you drink dead water, which is RO water, you don't taste it. Their husbands are loving the water and they can't drink it because they're tasting the poison that they're putting in their system. So that's where you're kind of at on this whole thing. And like I said, it's not so simple. If you kill the water, then It doesn't matter, because water in your town is different than water in my town. So we had to come up with an all-inclusive product that will manage all the different towns' variables. And I think we've done a pretty good job of it. And like I said, you can put this in. I got women in their 70s putting this product under their sink. I mean, they're like putting it in.
They're putting it in. Yeah, I understand. It's really simple to do.
And we have a video, YouTube video, plug and play. We even have a YouTube video how to put the house system in if you wanted to do that, and plug and play. Most people do get a plumber because water is a concerning item. But the way we designed and built it, the plumber, it's shark bites. Shark bites are easy. You slide over a tube, right? That's it. Grease and oil, put them on. So that's what we've come up with. And I think people, once they start enjoying the water, they start seeing that their body's changing.
Yes, I'm going to. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you to our friend Tina Horlacher for letting me know about you. And I did a lot of research because I was like, I don't want to endorse any kind of product, put my name on it unless I really know a lot about it. So I did a lot of research. And brother, you Charlie, come up clean. You come up clean.
It'll make your world different. That's all I'm going to tell you.
What you're doing, and what I love about it too, you're a fellow follower of Christ Jesus, and you're very honest, and you go into areas where these people are hurting and they need help, and you literally donate these systems to these families. I don't see anyone else doing that. I see a lot of water, but I don't see them changing the filtration system in their homes.
Well, you can give someone, the old saying is you can give someone a fish to eat, or give them a fishing pole. So we give people fishing poles, right? So they can go forward. Now, Kerrville, we got involved in with a church down there, and we're going to invest $3 million in Kerrville this year. They're rebuilding homes, and we're going to put $3 million worth of water filtration into that area. Because they have one problem that nobody's talking about. It's radon. They have radon in the ground, and they got to take their hot water tanks and put them in a special place. They cannot dump them in a scrapyard because of the radon. Okay?
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, because of the mines they have down there. They have granite mines down there. I can take radon out of the water all day long. It's not even an issue. It's not even on our radar. It's like nothing. You use our system, radon goes away. But radon, if you're showering in radon or drinking it or whatever with it, it's a direct poison that you cannot have in your system. So we're going in with whole house systems to shore up that area and make a big difference. And what we do is, are you familiar with a lady called Vanessa Hobuena?
No.
The painter?
Okay.
She paints, speed paints, right? So are you familiar with the painting that giant painting that Trump got a month ago? Okay, yeah. So I sponsored that. So Century put that there, and Vanessa did the painting. So Vanessa she's a Christian lady that does Christian paintings, okay? So, and she does these worship nights and all this stuff. So anyways, we put in every one of our boxes, one of her prints is in every box. So you're getting different layers of stability in your life, okay? So you have the stability of water now, and then you're going to have, and with these prints, if you look at them and read what's on the back, you'll get the stability of eternal life. So that's
Jesus built himself, living water, the living water.
Right. So we do things at different levels to.
I love this. I love this. I love what you're doing. I thank you so much for taking the time to be on my little old show, because I know you're very, very busy.
Oh, it's blowing up, to be very honest with you. We are getting involved heavily in the LDS community. They are all about prepping, and we have the only water prepping product in the world. So you see where that's going, right? Mm-hmm. Very interesting times coming ahead of us. So,
yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I love you doing. I love that you're there. I love that what you've invented, and it's proven time and time again. And you can get all that info at Century H2O. That's Century Century SENTRYH, the number 2, and then O, not 0, but the letter O. Mm-hmm. CenturyH2O.com, and you use the name of the show here, and you'll get yourself a nice little discount too on top of all that. And I sure appreciate that. Thank you, sir, for being on Do Not Talk.
You're welcome. Thank you, Charlie.
it was an honor and a privilege. And that's Nelson Iverleen. Did I say that right?
McIlveen.
I did not say it right. That's Nelson McIlveen.
Yeah.
Capital N-T, capital I-L-E.
E-E-N. Two E's in that.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, call me anything. Hey, call me anything. I'm here. It's not a problem. That's the least of our worries in life, right? So it's all good.
I'll talk to you soon. And you can help this show and be involved in what I'm doing too at charliesimons.com, charliesimons.com. Click on that merch store. This literally just came. I didn't get a freebie. I purchased my own product, and I wanted to wait until I was on the air to open it and to show it to you. And here it is. This is one of the things you can find by clicking on that merch store tab at charliesimons.com. And I want to put a Citrine H2O water in this. Let's talk about politics and religion. Look at that. The big mug too. I can put all my fingers in there, and I got a big hand. Awesome. Cheers. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.